Okay. Where's my phone? You're on.
Oh, hey, y'all. I'm trying to find you.
Make sure they can hear you.
Yeah. Can everybody hear me okay? My phone deal reset here, and everything's different. Yeah, there we go. I found you.
Yeah, there we go. I found you.
Hey, Tammy, how are you?
I found you. Hey, Tammy, how are you?
Oh, loud and clear. Thank you, Ron. Wanted to kind of get that right out of the box. I always forget. Skip reminds me. Because you know how we get problems. So how is everybody's day? It's beautiful out here today. I mean, the phone says 76, but it feels nicer than that, actually. It feels really, really nice. There's not much wind. There's a little bit of a breeze, but not much wind. And just a gorgeous day. So what are y'all doing today? I said, this is Wednesday. And, Wednesday's when the yard guys usually come and do all their work. And hopefully they're done and over. Ours comes early, so. And I said, I think the ones across the street are done with. And so don't have to worry about that too much. Mr. Rizzo says hello from Daryl's Diner. They're having lunch. Well,
Which one? The one at Wildwood?
I don't know. Which one are you at, Rizzo?
My favorite one's the one at Wildwood.
Yeah. Kelly B. Hi, Skip and Sue and Buddy too. Buddy's taking his nap. He's in the back.
He's not taking no nap.
Oh, he was. He was in the back of the closet.
He was following me around in there. He wants to come out.
Oh, well, you'll hear him if he realizes we're still here. You'll hear him. But he was. Like I said, he was underneath the clothes in the closet where it's dark. He likes to do that.
He got a haircut since the last time, right?
I think they've seen him since he got his haircut.
I don't think we showed it.
Yeah, he was on my lap last week.
Oh.
And I said his colors changed. I mean, it changed when they cut his hair. They cut a lot of the dark gray off. And now a lot of the gray is turning kind of blondish color, which kind of surprised me. I didn't know they changed colors that quick, but Elizabeth says, hi, Skip and Sue. Greetings from chilly Chicago. Just hanging out and doing some laundry. Well, that's
Cold this time of year?
Well, Chicago, I think it was in the 50s in Indiana, so,
Well, it's not necessarily our normal temperature today. It cooled down yesterday, but I mean, it's more uncomfortable. It's 75 right now.
75, okay.
Slight breeze, not much. Sun's
Yeah.
out, and I think the high today is only going to be like 80 or 81.
Yeah,
Well,
only.
Well, last week it was like 90 every day.
Yeah, and I said it did. We had that cool spell, which you're probably all getting up north now.
Yeah.
And but it's warmed right back up. Oh, and they're in Daryl's Diner in Pinellas.
Oh, yeah. I've been there. I didn't really care for that. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad. I didn't care for that one. The one in Wildwood's still my favorite.
Yeah, the one here was just kind
I
of
like
crowded.
it because I think it's rather stupid to go into an empty restaurant and stand by a sign that says, please wait to be seated. And there's nobody there. And the one at Wildwood doesn't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, Elizabeth says currently 39 degrees with a high of 44 in Chicago today. So yeah, that's chilly. Yeah, well, spring is here, so hang in there, Elizabeth. It's a-coming. Oh, goodness. Yeah, that one in Pinellas is all right, but like I said, it was just kind of crowded. I don't know if it's any bigger than the other one, but like I said, with the village people there, why it was pretty crowded. Well, thank you, Barbara. She says, my two favorite Floridians besides my sister and husband in Naples.
This is my two favorite Floridians besides my sister.
Oh, you found us. Yeah. And yeah, William says they're sitting outside with the dog. How is Delilah, honey? Is she any better? I know Kyle said yesterday that she wasn't doing well. Did you have to take her to the vet? She had a problem with her paw. It was hurting her. And I said, this is nice weather for the dog. I actually thought about taking Buddy to the dog park and let him run off some energy. because he's drove me crazy all morning. He started early this morning. I said normally he doesn't start until later, but he did this morning. So, oh, he says they're going to the vet next. Okay. Well, bless her heart. Hopefully it's nothing important. No, maybe he can do something for her. And it's 80 in sunny South Florida. It's from over Jordan. Well, yeah, like I said, the Florida area seemed to be in really good shape right now because the weather's kind of turned. It was still chilly yesterday morning, and this morning it was in the 50s, which that's unusual for this time of year. But, you know, not bad. It warmed up really, really quick this morning. And I said, we don't mind, really. I said, I'm not used to that. I'm used to the warm weather day and night. I like that better. But really, it wasn't bad. Oh, Mr. Marlin says hello from cold Illinois. I know. I said, my brother sent me a real cool T-shirt, Mr. Marlin. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but and it said, quit complaining. There's people that actually live in Illinois.
Did we tell you guys last week that they sold that house catty corner across the road over there? They sold it like 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, and I found out today everything here is sold now. The $1.5 million house sold too.
Everything's sold out?
Yep. The $1.2 million sold and the $1.5 million sold.
Well, this whole area is a pretty good location.
Yeah.
Not just Hillsboro. I'm not bragging about Hillsboro. This whole area we're in, which is Hillsboro, the largest, on north of 44, the largest villages here is the one across over there.
Collier?
Collier, Lake Deaton, Denham. No, Deaton's down here. Denham's over in the new area.
Yeah.
Deaton. This whole area right here. Fernandino. Mm-hmm. This is a good area, especially if you like golf. You're in between 13 different golf courses.
Yeah. And, oh, hi, Julie. She says it's 44 degrees there
Where?
in Indiana. It's Julie
Oh,
Shep.
Julie on here?
Yes. Hi, honey.
Yeah, Julie.
Yeah, and Barbara says you're in a very nice area. We were in Collier in October and loved it. Yeah, it is a great area. It's close, but not too close to everything.
Yeah, you
if
got
you know what I
shopping
mean.
over there at Pinellas. You got shopping over here at, what is that, Deaton?
Yeah, Lake Deaton.
You're a 8-minute golf cart ride downtown Brownwood.
Yeah.
Our rec center is just right over here. Our mail station just right over there.
Yeah.
But we are just far enough away that I don't hear none of the noise.
Yeah, we're around the corner from Evans Prairie.
I don't hear the music at downtown
Yeah.
every night. Remember that if you get as close as you can to a town square, that's good for property values. But if you get too close to the town square, you're going to hear that music every night. You might say, being new, you might say, well, that don't bother me. I love that. That's okay if you do. But the odds are 2 years down the road, you're going to sit out there going, you know what, that music is just really getting on my nerves. Don't they ever play anything different? It's always the same stuff.
Yeah.
I can hear it.
And it stops at 9 o'clock, but yeah, you know, a lot of people around here go to bed early. I go to bed at 9 o'clock.
She's asleep by 9:30.
Yeah, I said I'm tired enough when it's time to go to bed. I'm
I
ready.
come out here all the time in the dark and just look up and down the road just to see who's up. Me.
You?
There ain't nobody else up. Then that's
Yeah.
what I can see. There ain't no lights on anywhere.
Well, I know. And
That's what I like about my Discord. My Discord buddies.
they're
I can
up
get
all
on.
night.
I swear to God, I can get on there 11 o'clock at night, and there's always 1 or 2 on there.
Well, that's good. I said there's a lot of people that don't sleep at night, but I'm not one of them. I said if 9 o'clock comes, I'm going to bed.
They've been spraying a lot. They sprayed over here. Well,
Yeah,
all
because
right.
he's got cinch bugs over there on the other side.
You got what bugs?
Cinch bugs.
In the yard. Mm-hmm. He's spraying around the house.
Oh, I just seen him. It's a different deal.
Generally speaking, you spray around the house like that because of either ants or cockroaches.
Yeah, well, like I said, with those companies, they do a package deal.
By the way, don't freak out about the word cockroach. Down here, they don't call them that. They call them palmetto bugs. But trust me when I tell you, it's a cockroach. They're everywhere. You can't get rid of them. They're in my flower bed. I guarantee you. I mean, I haven't seen any, but I guarantee you that they're underneath the mulch in your flower bed.
Yeah. And they really don't bother you that bad
No.
after a while.
Every once in a while, I'll see one dead because they sprayed a yard, and every now and then you'll see one laying around dead.
Yeah.
I see one in the garage floor every so often. Not very. I think this year so far I've seen one in the garage.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like snakes. They're here. Everybody knows they're here. You just don't see them that often.
Yeah. That's what I said when their yard guy showed me the snake was in the dog pen. But I wish I got a copy of that picture. Had him sent me that picture because a lot of people like me and stupid and didn't expect something like that. But I never leave Buddy by himself, so it doesn't matter. But Rizzo says the house next to him is.
Where are you going? Are you going to Dairy Queen? No, I'm just joking.
No, we got everything. I went a while ago. Thank you, Mary.
She said she already got everything. She said she already got everything.
Yeah. Oh, John and Jane says, hey guys, Maldo's doing our driveway today based on your recommendations. Well, you won't be disappointed, John. I really don't think so. We've seen so many jobs that he's done.
Make sure you tell Romaldo you got his name off of my channel because I'm trying to get him to sponsor more of my video. He sponsored the news for the whole month of April.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
And let's see. Elizabeth says, Skip, you're just like her. She stays up until midnight or after. And so she typically gets up at 7.
Well, with me, it's just 40 years of doing it in a semi-truck, and I thought I'd get over that, but I did for a while, and then I get back into it again. And,
because you don't have anything else to do. You did before because you went golfing.
but
You
even
got up to
then,
go golfing.
even then, I stayed up late because I didn't do early morning tea times.
Yeah. Wrestler says, we are having new shingles put on our roof. It is very loud. Luann said it is fine because she can't hear Skip talking. Always looking on the bright side, Luann.
Tell her I said hi.
And John says, we told Romaldo you recommended him. And like I said, I don't think you'd be disappointed. He has some good ideas sometimes. Karen Velez says, we're in Atlanta, interested in a home in Linden, but not sure what the traffic noise is like there. Not sure who to go to for homeowners insurance quotes. Linden, I'm trying to think where
That's
Linden
one
is.
of the newer neighborhoods, Aunt.
Yeah,
I don't know where it is.
yeah, and for insurance, homeowners insurance quotes, I went to the Village Insurance and they gave me an insurance company, a homeowners insurance company, and then they sold out to somebody else, and so I ended up with Progressive, which I'm not real happy with, and I think I will be changing in the future. When we first moved down here, we had State Farm. We had everything with State Farm, and when we moved down here, State Farm did not insure homes, so that's why I had different insurance. But like I said, I'm thinking maybe about going back to them, and I read a little bit more about how homeowners insurance works, which give me pause, especially with the one I've got. But I would check with the Village Insurance, and they can point you in the right direction. Or if you're prone to State Farm, they're a good company. But I will tell you, when they had some really bad hurricane stuff that couldn't get fixed, why they pulled out of the housing market here. So that's what I was afraid of. That's why I didn't go back with them, even though they're doing housing now. I was afraid they would pull out first time something come up. Not that they left anybody in the lurch, but I mean, they just quit selling homeowners insurance. But I've seen that a lot of them has done that. So they're not the only ones. But that, I would try.
I think the short and sweet of it all, there is no great deal when it comes to homeowners insurance in the state of Florida.
No.
Just do the best you can do and make sure you have proper coverage.
Yeah.
Because Every time you try to make a claim, they come in looking for 101 reasons why they don't have to pay you.
But the Village Insurance has several different companies that they work with, and they can kind of give you an idea.
We had a guy on a WNL show that has nothing to do with any of this insurance here that sold the insurance in the state of Florida. What was it? Farmers something?
Farmers Insurance?
Yeah, he came out of Gainesville. He's on a WNL show. We brought him on.
I don't remember. It's been a while.
I want to say, yeah, it's one of them you don't really hear about much, but in Indiana, they were there.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize they were here. And he, I want to say Farmers something, Farmers Insurance, which in Indiana, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Here, I don't know.
They do have a Farmers over in Wildwood, I think. So, but yeah, it's...
I know why we had him on. We had him on to find out if this roofing debacle thing down here was a legit thing with all insurance companies or just one or two. And he was telling us that they were fighting the same problem. That's why we had him on.
Yes, I remember him now, because I think he talked around the subject.
No, he said that they were having the same problem. He said he was having the same problem in the place where he lived. So anyway, that's why I'm just thinking that's why we had the guy on.
Yeah, and Laura's listening from her office. Well, great. Hope they don't shut you down. Say, who are those people? Oh, and Rizzo says Romualdo might charge more if you say you know Skip.
Pay for that advertising.
Yeah. William says we lost everything in Hurricane Andrew and Homestead, and then the insurance company went bankrupt. Yeah, that's kind of what I was afraid of, because we had 5 insurance companies last year that left Florida, homeowners insurance, and so it was, but like I said, I learned more about how the system works, more than I wanted to know actually, and so I'm not as prone to worry about that now, because the state has insurance, and they actually had too many people on that insurance because of so many insurance companies going out of business. But
she says she's not kind of concerned about traffic noise. I'm still on this Linden thing. Is Linden over there next to the interstate?
I'm trying to think of where it's at.
Well, I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, it's not as far out as.
Well, if you're not from here, and you can't be here to check it out for yourself, find somebody that you can trust. And I'm not sure who that would be. If you're buying it through the Village's real estate company, I don't know if I trust hardly any of those agents over there, to tell you the truth. But if you're buying it off of another real estate company, you might ask them to go over there at that house and record with their phone about 10 minutes of noise for, say, 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
That'll be the worst noises of the day. And send that to you on your email so you can actually hear it. If Ira's got the house for sale, Ira will go over there for you and do a little video for you and put it up on his YouTube channel as a private message and send you a link to it, where only you can see what that is before he releases it to the public. And I really think that's a smart thing to do. He gives you first option. I don't know who's got the house for sale you're looking at.
Yeah, and I think in Linden in the McClure area over in that direction.
Is Linden not in there?
It's not too far out, I don't think. I
Well, I can tell you, Linda, if it's in that area, Linda has a home over there in that area, and I've been to her house many times, and there's absolutely no noise at all. But that doesn't cover the whole area, because just like Hillsboro, we have 2 Hillsboros really, 2 sections, and we're here, and the other Hillsboro's way up there, and they're a lot closer to actually Buena Vista than we are. Oh, Jesus.
Overjoyed says that's where a public adjuster comes in handy. Had an issue with a business I work for that sustained severe water damage to inventory. State Farm offered $14,000 on a $1 million claim. It was high-end pianos. Yeah, that you get that with anybody, and you've got a right to what do they call it when you don't accept what they offer you.
Well,
What do they call it when you don't accept what they offer you? You can reclaim.
reclaim.
I can't remember what they call it. When you don't accept their offer.
You just reject it.
Yeah, yeah, but then there's, yeah, okay. Yeah,
And
you
they
can,
can make a counter offer,
yeah.
or you make a counter offer. I've never really heard too many people doing that to insurance companies, especially here in Florida, because there's so few insurance companies here. It's just like when you wrecked your car. They didn't pay for everything that the lawyer said they were going to pay.
Yeah.
It's just take it or leave it. They don't care.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's, you know, you do want to make sure you get enough quotes that you can make up your own mind, but
Just make sure the loopholes are filled in. You know, here's what I told a guy in Indiana one time when we got insurance on a house. I told him right straight to his face. I said, hey, look, if I have a claim, here's the insurance I want. I want my house, if it burns to the ground, I said, if a herd of buffaloes comes through here and tramples my house to the ground, if a tornado comes through here and takes my house away to La La Land and just disappears, I want the insurance that's going to replace my house with no bullshit. And the guy says, okay. He said, at least I know what you want. And that's just the way I put it. Because when we had our house in Hartford City and we got flooded in the basement, we called the insurance company. What'd she do? She comes in there in her high heel shoes, walks around the basement. She says, well, I really sympathize with your water problem here. She said, but we're not going to be able to pay. And I said, why not? She said, because that's outside water that got in your house. And she said, that's covered under flood insurance, which you do not have. She said, if you had a broken water pipe inside the house, then we would have paid for all this. That's what they do. They look for reasons not to pay you.
yeah. I know George says I heard conflicting info on the age of your roof. And in Florida, insurance companies are saying 20 years, but it seems to be half that in the villages. Not everybody, you know, not everybody.
So I've never heard anything about that.
Well, I do know.
I mean, there was a thing about roofs, but because there was some con artists that were getting free, well, not free, but roof replacements on homes that really didn't need it, and the insurance companies was forking over a lot of money to replace a roof that really didn't need to be replaced. And that was the deal. But as far as them knocking on your door and saying, hey, in 10 years you got to put on a new shingle, I don't know anybody that's happened to.
I've heard of a lot of people that's
I've heard
been
people
told
talk
by
about
their
it.
insurance.
But to me, talk is cheap. I haven't seen anything in writing. I haven't seen nothing else. I'm not saying it don't happen, because I'll tell you something I know that happened. This is a fact. This is one of my Patreon members, and I believe everything my Patreon members tell me. They bought a house here, a pre-owned home. Makes no difference what it was, really. It was probably, I don't even know, I'll say the house was 15 years old. And she got a letter from the insurance company as she was moving in. This is within the first 30 days of owning this house. And they told her she needed to replace her water heater or they would not be able to insure her house. They said because her water heater was past the age of expiration. I have never heard that before.
There's a Frank Gay advertisement on the radio every morning. And they say that the guy's calling in and talks to the lady that answers the phone, and the lady on the phone said they were taking bets because he said that his water softener was, or water heater was so old, and so they were taking bets in her office to see when it would go out. It's a funny commercial. You'd have to hear it.
Yeah, well, she replaced it. I mean, somebody new like that, they don't know.
But like I've heard people talking about that their insurance company told them that they wouldn't insure them because the roof was 10 years old or something like that. I've never actually had that happen, and nobody that I know of, like I said, this was hearsay. You know, somebody told somebody told somebody.
Yeah, insurance rates going up. I've heard that from a lot of people.
Yeah, because ours did.
It's happened to us.
Yeah.
Ours went up. So I know that happens. Insurance companies being sold out, bought out, moved, then your benefits change. I know that happens. That's happened to us. But some of these other things around here, like I've said before, for the last 10 years in a video once in a while, rumors around here run wild. And you can't listen to everything you're being told. I
Yeah.
say that knowing that you're listening to us. Yeah.
Yeah. But I
But
mean,
look
you
at
know,
it this way. We have nothing to profit by telling you our experiences here.
yeah. And Kathy B in the 603 says, "Hi, Skip, Sue, and Buddy."
Hey, 603. Got competition. I got a new Patreon member. It's like Chet 802. So
Oh,
he's
yeah?
in probably area code 802, wherever that is.
Well, I know there's a check coming down here, and he's going to rent back here on Key in July, I think.
Is that Chet 802?
It's Chet something. I didn't look at the numbers.
I thought I seen a Chet on here earlier.
Oh, Michael Dunaher says appeal. Yes, that's what I meant. Yeah, you can appeal that if they offer you something and you reject it. So you can appeal that. And a lot of times, I know with medical insurance it does work, and a lot of times it's just a matter of coding. You know how they put the code numbers in. I don't know about homeowners, but I know you can appeal if they offer you something and you think it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Cause
speaking of that, you all know I had to go to the dentist. I've got dental insurance through United Health, and I received a letter in the mail about a week ago saying that my claim was denied. Sue calls the dentist yesterday, and they said they are appealing it. So that's what I mean. You get this insurance. What good is it? They just look for reasons not to pay.
Well,
I
that's
forget what
just
the
it.
reasoning was. Oh, I know what it was. The reasoning on there said the reason why it was denied is because it has to be pre-approved. Listen, if you ever got a toothache, you run to the dentist. He's got a cap on that tooth. He's got to take that old cap off to see what's going on. Well, with me, it was probably a little bit more of a cavity, and they had to clean it out and, rebuild it. I got to go back in May for the permanent crowns, caps, whatever they call them. Well, there's no way you can get pre-approved for that. So I just don't understand this argument about all this.
But they do that because just like if you'd have got that letter and I hadn't read it, you would have just thought, well, they're not going to pay it and let it at that.
Yeah.
Well, because I read it and it said what it said, and I said that's why I called the dentist, and they said they'd already filed an appeal. Because I know that's, I've dealt with enough medical stuff that I know that they do that. They will try to get you to take that. And I said, if you don't say anything, and you still may have to pay it, but I said, I'm going to go to the extreme to make them pay.
Well,
That's what they're for.
I can tell you when I go back, I'm going to tell them this is it until I find out about that insurance.
Yeah. Well, now see, something else might be a different procedure altogether.
Not if you got to get pre-approved. This is what's stupid about the whole thing.
It didn't, well.
I had a heart attack. Oh, we can't pay that hospital bill. Why not? Well, you got to be pre-approved.
It said so many sides of the tooth had to be missing. That
So
it was a
half
little
the
bit
tooth
more
had to
than
be
just.
missing. How do you know half the tooth is missing if there's a cap there and they got to take the cap off to see what the damage is?
That's what I said. It's, yeah. They
And
will
if you're
pay
in
it.
pain, you're not waiting around for pre-approval.
But like I said, that's their deal. 90% of the claims they get, they reject them.
Whatever happened to the day when my dad had Blue Cross and Blue Shield and he just went to doctors and dentists? They just flopped that baby down and it was taken care of.
Well, you're not living in the 1950s anymore.
Well, when I worked for UPS, the medical insurance I had pretty much was the same way. I never had any of this problem.
Well, yeah. Let's see.
By the way, half of my drivers that we had in sure is getting to be awful noisy here in the daytime.
Oh yeah. Rista Rizzo says we left the keys in Andrew, and I didn't recognize Homestead on our way back. Totally devastating. The keys was not touched. We lost power for a couple of weeks. Yeah, it was for a lot of places. It was that way, and the last couple of years it's been to the north in the Panhandle and along in that area. It not really affected much of us here. So, but I can't. I've seen the damage. We used to go to Punta Gorda a lot, and I've seen the damage that one can do, and it just is such a shock. I know that it does damage. We've seen a lot of tornadoes.
But until you see it.
But until you see it, and see piles out in the field, piles of stuff that they have picked up off the street and pieces of houses and things like that. And I said they've got mountains of debris.
They had part of the streets. We stayed there for one day, only because I had a reservation. And the guy, I had to argue with him to even get my room. He wasn't going to let me have my room. But then we couldn't go anywhere. Well, we couldn't go everywhere in Punta Gorda or Port Charlotte for that matter. They had streets blocked off, and I asked him, I said, what's all the streets blocked off for? Are they doing construction back there or what? And he said, no, they're clearing out all the snakes and alligators. Because the hurricane surge washes all that stuff in from the swamps.
Yeah. And you don't even think about that because, normally on a normal day you don't see anything like that. But yeah, it was an eye-opener because we actually thought at one time about buying down there because we liked the area. We loved that area.
I still like the
down
area
there.
down there.
Yeah, but it's one of those things, well, we'll go visit.
Just think about it. You're not going to be the same age. And then would you like to be 80 years old and have a hurricane like that come through your neighborhood and cause that kind of devastation and you're 80 years old? Mm-hmm. No. So we decided we'd go somewhere in the middle of the state, knowing we can have hurricane damage here, but it takes a big one. And the last hurricane we had, it hit Tampa at a, I want to say it hit Tampa at a 4, level 4. By the time it got here, there's a lot of discrepancy here, but it was either a high 1 or a very low 2.
Yeah.
And the only damage I had here was about 20 shingles on my house got tore off, which I fixed myself. And that was about it.
Yeah. Now, Overjoyed says most roof warranties are like 30 years. And what they're talking about when they say you buy a 30-year shingle, yeah, that shingle might be good for 30 years. That doesn't mean when it's on your roof you've got a 30-year warranty. You have on the shingle. And I said there's a difference. There's 20, 25, and 30.
The manufacturer can put what warranty they want to on there. That don't mean the insurance company's got to go buy it.
Yeah.
The insurance company says, well, we don't care. Either you take it off, you don't have to take it off, first of all. But they don't have to insure your house. And that's the dilemma. And this is an argument that I've had. Since when does an insurance company tell you what you have to spend on your home? So when they tell me I got to put on a new roof when I don't need a new roof, that's when I'll tell them. I'll self-insure myself. I don't need them.
Yeah.
Because I won't do it. They're not telling me, well, you got to buy a new refrigerator because that one you got's past its limit. I don't have to do anything.
Mark C. says, is a brand of home the same as a designer home with a fence around the backyard? Yes. There's a few differences, but that's basically what a brand is. It's a fenced-in designer.
People that have pets, that's usually a good option for pets. Before that, if you wanted a 2-bedroom, it's courtyard villas. Same thing, they usually get them for privacy and pets.
Yeah, but that's why I wish that I had gotten the picture from the yard guy of that snake on Buddy's cage. And I said, just opening the door and letting the dogs out, what have you, and having a fence around the backyard isn't necessarily a great idea. Don't leave them alone. Not around here. There's birds.
Especially during alligator breeding season.
Yeah.
Alligators crawl around here. They've taken several out of people's yards already this year.
Well, and
they had to get one downtown Brownwood, had to get it captured and taken out. And if you've got a pet in the backyard just running around, I think I'd keep an eye on it.
Yeah. And I said the pen I had out here, I had Buddy in, but I had the chair sitting next to him in the shade. And
we also have big birds of prey, like eagles.
And we went inside for a few minutes, and when I come out, the yard guy next door showed me on his phone. He took pictures, and inside that cage was a green snake. And God knows where it come from, probably this big bush over here. But I mean, it was on the rungs of that cage inside, and it was bright green, so you could see it really well against that black cage. But it never dawned on me, I mean, I would never leave Buddy alone. But that was kind of one of those wake-up moments where you think, this is one of the reasons why you don't leave them alone, even if they're fenced in. Caveman 770 says, insurance rates are going up because the cost of materials inflation have gone up 30% in the last 3 years.
Well, that probably has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, that's got a lot to do with it, but that's not the only reason. And they do it because they can, for one.
That's what I've always said. They do it because they can.
Ressler says we were getting some small leaks during very heavy storms on our 24-year roof. Due to possible sale within the next few years, we thought good time to redo the roof. Maybe easier sale with new roof here. Yeah, I think it'll make a difference. I mean, because that's big money. You know, that's not like
Well, I know when we
picking a stick.
sold our place in Indianapolis, I really wasn't planning on selling that place in Indianapolis, but I was getting things fixed up on it a little bit for retirement because I wanted to be a snowbird. I mean, I've always said that. We had a patio villa down here that was in a great location. Sue done a lot of work to getting new flooring put in and stuff. So other than maybe a couple of minor things, I mean, I was set. And I was just going to take my money out of the 401k and pay the house off in Indianapolis. This one down here was paid for, and that's what I was going to do. And then, of course, times change. You know, you realize, well, crap, all the grandkids are grown up. Now what?
Yeah.
You know.
And you got to find somebody to mow the yard, somebody to,
Well,
watch
at that time,
pipes in the winter.
At that time, we had our neighbor down there, the FedEx guy with the brain operation. I can't think of his name. He would have pushed the snow out of the driveway and stuff. He would have kept an eye on the place, you know. So we had a neighbor that would probably do that for us. But you can't depend on that every year. I mean, he could die.
Yeah.
Then what?
Jerry Bell says Florida governor signed a new bill where you can get an inspection that says your roof will last at least 5 years and they can't force you to replace it. Well, good. He should have. That.
Well, I don't know. I don't know that our district rules will accept it. See, you can say all this stuff, but I'm telling you, these district rules is what governs things here.
But they don't. He's talking about the insurance.
Oh, the insurance. I don't know about that.
Yeah, like I said, for the
That's
for the
her
insurance.
job. I don't get involved with it.
Yeah.
I don't even know how much money's in our bank account.
Yeah, and I don't think I went into the insurance office and say I want covered if a herd of elephants come through the house. But
They got my point.
well, but
I
they're
don't want to have some kid fresh out of college coming in here and going, "You got problems."
Oh, and Barbara says Linden is between 501 and Megason. Okay, yeah, I just
501. Where's that at?
it's down that area. You don't have to
Is
worry
it
about
down there where Jeremy's shop is at? Is that 501?
It's close to there. Yeah.
So that's way down there. Well, if they're way down there, the only problem she's going to have maybe would be prison noise.
No, I don't think so. I don't know.
I don't know where Linden exactly is.
Okay, well, okay.
But there's two things down there that you want to be aware of. Actually, three, but I'll just say two. Highway noise. You got a prison down there, and they do have loudspeakers outside once in a while. Been close to Middleton. They got, band practice and stuff there.
And you have a rock quarry that
A rock
blasts.
quarry that blasts so many weeks out of the year. They're allowed to by Florida law. There's nothing you can do about it. I wouldn't want to be anywhere near that. Just a few things, that's all. Really, I'd recommend take your time, come down here, go look at the house and scope it out with your own eyes.
Yeah. Kathy B in the 603 says Chet in the 802 just doesn't roll off the tongue like Kathy B in the 603. You're right, it doesn't.
You got a point.
Yeah, and let's see. We must have missed something here.
I haven't even been looking.
Yeah.
Hey, Jerry. I see Jerry's on here. Hey, Wrestler. Must be a slow day for Wrestler. By the way, I've noticed Wrestler, man, he's been hitting the videos. Of course, you don't see him. I'm a member, but on members only. Gosh, it seems like he's putting up, man, I don't know, 3 or 4 of them a week every week.
Well, he said he had a lot of them to get out, so.
I would have thought by now he'd run out.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the way my RV channel works. We'll take off for a month, and I'll come back, and I'll have enough videos for the next 6 months.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of editing them. And then after that, though, because I sit here for so long, like right now, I got absolutely nothing for the RV channel, and I haven't had anything for a long time.
Yeah. Overjoyed says I will be going back to original Medicare during open enrollment. That's what I have, Overjoyed. I have original Medicare and a supplement. Skip was with the United Healthcare Advantage plan. And, well, like I said, I'm not on an Advantage plan. There's a reason.
Because yours, it kind of took falling into the donut hole every year to kind of just stretched it out for the whole year.
Yeah, but then, you know, you seen yourself what happened with your sister, that when the insurance company takes over for you instead of Medicare, they make the rules. And I don't like that.
That's when I say I need that bottle of hydrocodone pills.
Yeah,
I'll
right.
just take the whole damn bottle and be happy and just go to sleep.
Oh. Laura says she can't wait to see what Blue Cross Blue Shield in Illinois pays for her colonoscopy in June.
Colonoscopy?
Blue Cross Blue Shield probably.
I take care of
Are
most
you
all
on
of it,
Medicare yet, Laura?
other than her copay, whatever that would be. But when I had my colonoscopy with Blue Cross and Blue Shield, they paid all of it.
Yeah, but you know, it's nice. If you're on Medicare, they pay all but 20%, and then Blue Shield pick up the other 20%. So.
Well, that's what United Healthcare is supposed to do. Unless you don't get pre-approved, and then they just deny the whole thing.
Tiger 2 says, hey, Skippy. Says Tiger 2 says, hey, Skippy.
Who's Kathy P? Do I know her? Kathy P. Plum.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's who it is.
Overjoy says, a pity the villages don't allow metal roofs in most districts. There are some.
I'm going to say that's not true, because there's a section up there by Lake Sumter that they actually built that neighborhood to resemble Key West. And there's metal roofs on the houses, metal roofs over the porches, but the way they're designed, I love it.
Yeah, they're
It
beautiful.
really looks nice up there.
Yeah.
It's one of the neighborhoods somebody told us about. We lived up there, and I didn't realize that neighborhood was even back there. I swear to you, I didn't. We went back there in the golf cart running around looking at it, and I thought, oh my God,
Yeah.
I would live back here in a heartbeat.
Okay. M1K 55501. I put a heavy gauge metal roofing and basically told the insurance company, screw you. I told him the roof has a 75-year warranty on it. Come back and see me in 74 years. Till then, shut up.
Well, you can do that, but you can't do that here in the villages. Depending on what district they're in, they just don't allow it. They'll tell you to take it off. They'll take you to court.
Yeah.
They've actually taken some people to court because they said the same thing. It's my house, I'll do what I want. No, you ain't. We don't have an HOA here. People keep saying that. We're not governed by an HOA. We do have an HOA and a VHA and some other one. That's all voluntary. You don't have to join any of them. But we are strictly governed by your district rules.
Yeah.
And so we're in District 10. If you're considering buying a home in District 2, 7, 13, whichever district, get a copy of those rules and read them.
Yeah. Mr. Monin says, I have 3 cancers. The doctor wanted a scan to see if anything had spread later. It was denied the first time for a lower type of x-ray first. Yeah, and I said, it's
that's
insane.
stupid to me.
It is.
If they really care about your health and your life, why are they denying things like cancer treatment stuff?
But they don't. They care about the dollar. That's all it is. And they do.
Let me tell you
give
something I got on last night. I won't tell who or what, but here's a little story. Whatever insurance they had, it was Medicare, I'm pretty sure. They had to go in for cancer treatments, and I think they said they had to pay like $4,000. And this person's like on Social Security only. That's it. So they had to pay $4,000. Come the next year, after December, January or February, they go back to the doctor to have things checked. And they said, well, we recommend go in for some chemotherapy. Another $4,000, because that $4,000 last year wasn't the copay for the $4,000 for this year. And it looked like with this cancer treatment, Medicare is making you pay more and more and more.
Well, okay.
I don't know how it works, but that sounds like a total ripoff to me.
Well, and I know, you know, when you get into the lower ranks, you know, you get the doctors that everybody sees. Well, I'm not
But
going to go into that.
But if you're going in for chemotherapy in November, and I guess this could go on for a long time, but once you go in and pay that $4,000 copay on your chemotherapy, say in November of 2023, January of 2024, if you're still doing the chemotherapy, why are they charging you another $4,000?
And well, like I said, you know, that's the problem I had with the United, was they had that out of pocket every January. Regardless, you had to pay that. No. Oh, Jerry Bell.
Maybe I should go to Mexico and just sneak across the border down there and just tell them I'm an illegal, and they'll just give me my own free medical. And
$9.99, Jerry Bell.
thanks, Jerry.
Yeah, thanks, Jerry.
He done that to get me to shut up.
Well, yeah, he does carry on sometimes.
You know, speaking of that, we had a meet and greet down there the other day, and I was thinking about that coming home. Maybe I shouldn't do some meet and greets anymore. I think I talk too much. We always figure on a meet and greet, we have lunch with them or something like that. And I always figure, well, about an hour. We'll go down with the camera and we'll do a little video and be there about an hour, you know, and come home. That never happens. It's never happened. You know, we look, 2 and 3 hours later, we're still yakking away. And I know these people probably had things to do, and here we are 2 and 3 hours later, and we're still yakking away. So.
But there's nothing wrong with that. If you like people, you like people.
Yeah, but I think they were just being kind by just listening instead of saying, hey, love to hear more of your stories, but I got to go.
Oh, well, yeah. Let's see. George says, I don't have a spare $400 a month for a supplement, and Part B heading into retirement. Insurance and food are my biggest expenses. Got to save where I can. And you know what?
Is it $400 a month for
I don't know.
supplemental?
Mine isn't.
Well, you get Blue Cross and Blue Shield,
Yeah.
too.
And that's
So
what
why
I
would
said.
it be
It's not.
$400 a month?
I don't know. Mine's only $200. And like I said, depending on what the what your out of pocket is, because his has changed. When I was on it, it was like $4,800 for the out of pocket. It is down now, I think, to $2,980 or something like that. But at the time, I paid $200 a month for my supplemental, and well, you do the figuring. But like I said, there's so many more things. Like I said, with his sister. And I said she was told that her insurance wouldn't pay for more than so many weeks. You look back, and regular Medicare would have paid for more than that. But she had an Advantage plan. And so you go by what they tell you, and they're insurance people, you know. So that's why I don't have it. But like I said, that out of pocket at the first of the year, always, I had to pay that before I could get anything done. And so that's
I'll
why
just
I'm
sell
not
the
on
house, put the money in the bank, and go live in a motorhome.
it. You're healthy enough, you never have to worry about it so far. But
Well, it's just it ain't the idea of how much a person's got. It's the idea of how these other companies devise these ways of getting more of it.
yeah.
You know, we just want more. Everybody wants more.
William said, my neighbor told me to put cow dung on my strawberries, but I'm sticking to whipped cream. We love it. Yeah. You kill us, William, you do. Overjoyed says, I think Florida has some protection against denial of care. Haven't tested the waters yet. Yeah, most states have some kind of protection for that, but it's, well, just like Mr. Marlin said, yeah, they can take care of you, but they're going to go the cheapest route. You know, if the thing that's saving you is something new and right out of the box, you may not get that. They haven't okayed it yet. So, been there, done that. That I said for years I had to keep appealing everything that the insurance turned down. And so I got pretty good at it, actually.
And Welter says, hello, all coming on late. 45 degrees right now in Minnesota, going up to 60. Well,
Oh.
welcome. We don't care if you're late.
Oh, yeah.
The only ones that comes this thing late consistently is me. I set it up, and then I go in the house, get my coffee or something.
Yeah. Laura says, I am on my employer's Blue Cross Blue Shield health insurance and pay 100% of my colonoscopy 5 years ago. But when I called last week to check on this, I couldn't get a definite answer. Wow. You're on Blue Cross Blue Shield and you still paid 100%? That's not right.
No, she said they paid 100%.
Oh, okay. That's about what it should. And I said, in my case, I'm on Medicare also, And I said, the supplement, Blue Cross Blue Shield, takes care of the rest.
So when
So-
I had Blue Cross and Blue Shield in Indiana with UPS, other than a very small copay for like ambulance or emergency room or specialist or something like that, they always paid 100% of everything. Doctor calls, dentist bills, but the dentist was capped off. There was so much a year, and I want to say it was like $2,500 a year, maybe $5,000 a year, something, and then hearing aids. It was a one-time and a lifetime deal for hearing aids, and I think that was like, I don't even remember what it was, 5,000 or something.
7.
So I waited as long as I could before I retired to get my hearing aids. Big deal, I've lost it anyway.
Oh, goodness. Cindy C. says a screening colonoscopy is considered preventative, so it would be paid at 100%.
I would think so.
If there are any polyps removed during the procedure, then it is diagnostic and subject to the copay and what have you. Well, yeah, they've always found them. You know, this last time, instead of sending me for a colonoscopy, I did the thing in the mail. What do they call it? Cologuard. And that was, you know, that was great considering what you have to go through for a colonoscopy. Now, then I said, of course, it was good, no problems with it. But like I said, I would much rather do that. And I thought at a certain age that you didn't have to do them anymore, but I don't know, maybe not.
She said this is her third colonoscopy in 5 years. Hey, let me tell you something, Laura. Without getting into it, I had somewhere in the neighborhood of like, was it 4 or 5 colonoscopies in 1 week?
I don't know. It
Every
was
time
something
they
like that.
came in, I just got in the habit of just rolling over on my side.
But there was a specific reason for
Well,
that. Yeah. Overjoy says Plan N starts at 230 in my zip code and 174 for Part B. Yeah, Overjoyed, I actually lucked out and got Plan F, which they don't offer Plan F anymore. I think the next you can get is Plan G, and I'm not sure how long that's going to be around.
Oh, Joy says her cap on her insurance is $5,000 for dental, and they cover implants. That's pretty good, I think. $5,000 for dental, just dental,
Yeah.
and they cover it. Of course, $5,000 don't go very far for implants. Let me tell you, we both got them.
Yeah.
I know one person here got one tooth, one implant, one tooth. I think it was a jaw tooth. I don't know if that makes a difference. I think they told me it was $9,000, right?
Yeah.
For one tooth.
But it depends on where you go and, you know,
Yeah.
what dentist and what have you, because they're all kind of here and there. Mr. Marlin says, Skip, I've had more chemo than you have had beer. That's a lot. That's a lot. But, you know, I'll tell you something really, really funny, you know, until we moved down here, Skip had 2 beers a week.
If
We go
that.
out to dinner.
Yeah, we go out on the weekend.
We go out on the weekends and we go to dinner and he'd get 2 beers. And that was it.
Walking out the door, I hand her the keys. Yeah. Anything to protect that CDL. I'm telling you, I was adamant about protecting that CDL because I knew that was my retirement. That was everything we had was in that CDL.
Yeah.
And so when I read down here how people are getting pulled over, no driver's license, suspended 15 times.
Yeah, it's a different world.
It just boggles my mind that you can do that.
Brian Madigan says, visiting the villages next week, staying at Brownwood Hotel. Been very cool spring and rainy in New York. Looking forward to warming up and the hospitality of the village residents, or at least most. Well, good, Brian. I know you'll love it. You know, well, I met you and your lovely wife last time you was down here, and it looked like you were enjoying your stay. But you're going to stay at the hotel. That's
One thing about the hotel, if you get drunk over there at, what's the place called on the other side of the pool?
Wolfgang Puck's.
Wolfgang Puck's. There's a bar there. I don't think that bar's part of Wolfgang's though, is it?
Yeah, and the bar in the hotel is also.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well, you ain't got far to stagger back to the room.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Laura says this will be colonoscopy number 3, as my gastroenterologist recommended every 5 years because of my dad. Yeah, there's a lot to do with the genealogy kind of thing. What's passed down in the family.
Well, that's true because just like my dental, the dentist I had in Anderson, which I respected a lot. And I was telling him, I said, I go through all the stuff that you're supposed to do. And I said, every time I come in here, I've got another cavity. I got another cavity. I said, what the hell's the deal? And he says, probably the genes.
Genetic.
I said, my dad at that time was probably in his 70s or 60s. Never had a cavity in his life. Never.
When he died, he had all his teeth.
Never had a cavity. He'd go
He
in
was
and
so proud of that.
He'd get his teeth cleaned, and I'd always ask him, I said, well, did they find any cavities this time, Dad? Nope. Never had a cavity. My mom had constant trouble, no matter what she did. And I think I inherited my mom's genes when it comes to my teeth. I swear to God, I think I did, because I have trouble when I don't even understand why I have trouble.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Marlin says, those damn insurance people, someday I will tell you where I work.
You work for State Farm?
I could just about guess.
For years down here, it was called Snake Farm.
Oh, Gracie says, or overjoyed says, Grace, the cheapest plan in my zip code is $270.
Gracie here says my Blue Cross Blue Shield supplemental is $165 a month.
Yeah, and it, it depends on
What
your
state?
zip code.
It's down here, they don't call it Blue Cross Blue Shield. It's called Florida Blue. So I think in Florida they have one price. Indiana may have another price. And
But the supplement paying thing is,
I think it depends on where you live.
oh yeah, it's governed by certain things. Let's see.
Wonder what they pay for it in China.
I don't know. Everybody I know goes to Mexico.
Well, out west, that ain't no joke out there.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to run out there every week, and I talked to a lot of people out there. And not necessarily Tijuana, that's a touristy area. But there are areas in the Baja and stuff like that, that's where a lot of Americans are retiring to, down there, because they say the price is a lot cheaper.
Well, you remember Ron and Margaret's neighbor she was getting some dental work done, and she was going across the border.
Yeah, and they go down there and get their medicine. Thing is, you're not supposed to be bringing that medicine back across the border. That's smuggling drugs. But for some reason, they don't seem to worry about it out there.
Well, and Tom Hall, he had a bunch of dental work done down there where his lady friend was
yeah,
living.
but he didn't bring drugs across that border.
No, but I mean, it was a lot cheaper down there, and he said it was very professional.
I believe that. I mean,
Yeah.
I've always said in America, everything is based on income. I mean, how much is a house here? Based on income.
Yeah.
How much is a house, say, in Mexico City? Based on income.
Wrestler says, I was in healthcare field just beforehand and right after the Affordable Care Act took effect. Before ACA, I remember lots more denials. Not sure now, though. Been out of that field for a while. Yeah. It's one of those things. Things change. Like I said, I had this illness for 20-some years. So like I said, I have argued with insurance companies and Medicare and doctors and you name it. Because every time you get a new insurance company or a new doctor, everything changes and you have to start all over
That
again.
happened. I worked at UPS.
Yeah.
Same insurance, Blue Cross and Blue Shield, but what UPS did every year is they'd put the insurance up for bid. So one year, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Ohio would get all of the Midwestern area for our medical insurance.
And we were in Indiana.
Yeah, we lived in Indiana. And then the next year, all of a sudden, we get notified that for your insurance this year, it's going to be Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kentucky, then Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Well, every time they changed that, we haven't changed anything. She'd go in and get her treatments, and at that time it was around $6,000 per treatment, and she had to have 3 of them a month. She'd go in for a treatment, and they'd say it was denied. And you find out why. Well, because you're Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kentucky. You was Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Ohio. We didn't approve that.
So we had to go through the process of getting approved again.
It was such a pain.
Yeah. But I said, finally, I got enough to where when I would send him a stack this high of paperwork.
Well, your doctor did that too.
Yeah, the doctor did that. He sent him like 18 years worth of paperwork. And after that, they just been stamping approved on everything.
It was crazy, crazy nuts.
Cindy G says, poop in a bag and give it to the mailman. I'm not sure why.
What?
It says, poop in a bag and give it to the mailman.
The mailman. Why am I doing that?
I don't know. I said, did I miss something?
We like our mailman. Well,
Yeah.
male person up there. She's a little cranky sometimes, I think, but all in all, she does a good job. Sometimes, matter of fact, on a Sunday, if we got a package or something that somebody sent, she'll bring it to the house and bring it up and give it to us.
Yeah, that, you know.
And she doesn't have to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe she's looking for a tip.
You think?
I don't know.
Mr. Marlin says you'd be surprised at how much of your insurance claims are handled by AI. I know, and I said that's why I know that they have a certain percentage-wise that are denied. They just automatically, they don't even read them. They just automatically deny them because there are people that are seriously ill and there's no doubting it, you know. But a machine don't know that, and they just deny. And then it's up to you to appeal that process. No.
Joy
Cindy
says
C.
she was shocked about how she was better off before she turned 65, and I was shocked how expensive Medicare turned out to be. I just saw a thing on TV last night. The lady was talking about 2025, the increase you're going to get on Social Security. And she said, I want to set the record straight on how this is done. And she was showing. And I was watching it. It's only based on the inflation rate on the third quarter of the year. No other quarter. She said it's always the third quarter of the year. She said that's why you'll see them make changes on the third quarter because they don't want the rate to go out any higher than they have to. So this year, according to the way things are now, she said next year you're looking at something like a 2.7% increase on your Social Security. Then she goes into Medicare and how that figures into it. So basically, I think we're going to lose money.
Yeah, and that's basically what happens every time, just practically. Cindy C says, I'm a medical coder and auditor and have been for 25 years. There are plenty of coding errors in these. Always question what you do not understand. Yes.
Well, then I'd be questioning
coding errors.
I'd be questioning an awful lot of shit.
Well,
I don't understand none of it.
Well, I know, and I said that's why they, like I said, on your dental thing, it may just be a mixed code. They put the wrong code in. I've had that happen to me before. So, yeah, I always question that stuff. I'm cheap.
Well, yeah, but well, I don't know either. I don't know how it works.
I don't spend it if I don't have to. Let's see.
Gracie says the cheapest plan G. What's plan G?
That's next in the supplement plan. I said I'm a F. Next down is G because they don't offer the F anymore. So there's a plan G, and then it goes to plan N.
What do you get in plan G that you don't get in plan H? I don't know.
There is a set thing for that. That
She
tells
says
you what
it's
you
the
get.
cheapest on plan G, and her zip code is $270.
Yeah.
Is that for Medicare or is that supplemental? What
That's
is that?
supplemental. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I don't know.
And then I said it just depends. I said on which kind you get. And I said I was fortunate enough to get in on the F in Indiana. Actually, they did away with it, and it's why I went on his insurance plan. And then, like I said, then when we got down here, Florida still had it, so I took it. And but now they've done away with F here, and they're on the G plan now, where there's a few things that they don't pay for that they did with the F. So, but you got to look at, if you look at your insurance papers, they'll tell you exactly what the supplemental plans pay and which number or letter, what have you, and decide what you want. No. And I said, mine's
still
good.
say it doesn't make any difference. They just look for reasons not to pay.
I've never had a problem.
I just did.
Yeah, you just did. But like I said, you just appeal that, and I said, could be just a coding error.
According to the dental, I don't have to appeal nothing. They did it.
Yeah, that paperwork actually says that you have to appoint somebody to do that kind of stuff.
Well, I'm appointing you.
They've already done it. So they know that this happens, you know. Cindy G, pooping in a box works for most people, but some still need scopes. If past scopes find polyps.
What?
Now I understand when she says poop in a box and give it to the mailman. And that's basically what I did. The Cologuard. Yeah, and it's tremendously a lot easier than the colonoscopy. But they don't recommend it for everybody. So, but like I said, I did get it this time instead of the colonoscopy, and that's what Restler says. pooping in a box works for most people, but some still need scopes. If past scopes find polyps, yes. And I said, and I had had polyps before, but it had been so long ago that they said I could have the Cologuard.
Gracie says that she had 7 extractions with an IV sedation. So I wish we had some of that IV sedation stuff.
You can, depending on where you go.
This guy don't do it.
No, this guy
No.
don't. That's why I said you pick the dentist.
And she says she got transportation to and from on her plan.
Yeah, well,
They
I
paid
said
for it.
you got to pick the dentist.
I don't think the dentists there, none of them have transportation to and from.
Well, I've never looked.
They just say to call an Uber.
Yeah, I've never looked. Yeah, and they do have Uber Medical. Yeah, because when I was having to go to the chiropractor, when I didn't have a car after that accident, they would send Uber Medical for me to take me to the chiropractor's office. So, and I didn't know they had such a thing.
Gracie says she don't have a dental policy, and her dentist said that they're not cost effective. I've heard pros and cons about that. Buying extra, even down here, you can buy dental insurance. The guy told me, he said he bought it right before he needed to go in and have some work done. Then they denied everything because the company said you have to have our policies for at least 1 year before you can file a claim.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, well, did they tell you this up front?
No, you got to do your homework. They don't tell you this. You got to do your homework. Patrick Butler says Brownwood Hotel is very nice. Yes, it is. The villages don't do anything on the cheap. They say if you look at the rec centers, the all of their sales offices, they spring for the best. And I said the Brownwood Hotel is not any different. It's really, really nice. Never stayed in one of their rooms, but
Holy
Deb and I
crap,
did.
look at the size of this guy this year.
Deb and I did do a tour of the place, and it was really, really nice. What?
Do you see that? Well, I think
Oh, good Lord. We're falling around.
the
beds
dragon
now.
came out here a while ago. Man, he's bigger this year than he was last year. Yeah, I don't know where he went.
Yeah.
He came out and flashed his thing at me 2 or 3 times and then took off.
Let's see. Yeah, Cindy C says, I've been holding on to my treatment plans to make sure I get everything I'm entitled to. I can see them running up my bill from what I was quoted. Yeah, and I said, if they have a chance, because they have to make a living too, and I said, that I've noticed that about a lot of places, that the nickel and dime thing, you don't notice it as, you know, if it's a nickel this month and nickel next month, you don't notice it like it would if they'd say, you know, it's an extra $20.
Jerry says, all this insurance talk, where's the Medicare expert? I haven't seen him for a while.
He's probably been pretty busy.
Well, he took a new job. Well, he moved, I should say, to this other insurance company up there. I forget who it is. He sent me all the information and everything. So I get an email once in a while, people wanting to know, you know, if I'll send him the information, because the information I guess they got was off of the old W&L show. So I do know I have the right phone number. He also sent me a new email. Don't use the email on the old W&L shows, because that email, he don't use it anymore. It's the email at this other company he's at. But he's still around. I just don't see him like I used to. I think he's busy, truthfully.
Yeah. This new company must keep him pretty busy. Yeah. Yeah, Cindy, I figured that out. She said, sorry, mailman comment was about mail-in colostomy. Yeah, I figured that out after I read a few more. And I said, it's not something that everybody wants to do, because like I said, if you've got, you know, if you've had polyps in the past, you want to be checked out really good.
Marcia, member for 44 months. Hello all. Hey Marcia, I got to put you back on the roller thing there. I got a notification from Patreon that you opted out. Or maybe it was another Marcia. I'm not sure. So I took you off of the roller thing, and then I see that obviously you're still a member on YouTube. So I got to double check to make sure you're still on there. So I know you're okay this week, and I think next week is the week after that. I'm not too sure about, because I update this thing like every 2 weeks. So I got to make sure you're in there.
Yeah, poor guy. Yeah, that's to say the least. I am frugal. I watch the nickels and dimes.
You know, there's an old saying in business. If if it makes sense, it makes dollars. My dad used to say that. Watch your pennies because they make dollars.
Yeah. Oh, and Overjoy said the deductible and copays between G and N is different. Worth saving the extra $50 per month to use plan N to me anyway, if I were going to go that route. Yeah, and I had, there was one thing I looked at that one of them didn't pay ambulance. They didn't pay for ambulance to pick you up or what have you. And I said one of them did. So there was very minute things in each one of them that you may not pick up on. It maybe not something that you'd be interested in. But yeah, it was worth taking a look and seeing what they offered. But I said, I don't think they offer, I said, I know they don't offer F here anymore. And they were talking about doing away with the G. I don't know what happens when they get through the whole alphabet, But I said, I'm with F and I'm good. I'm grandfathered in, so it's not going to go anywhere. That's what I understand.
Skip Richards says, so is this what we're looking forward to, hanging around talking about insurance and doctors? No, Skip, we also talk about who died. Did you hear about Bob? Bob passed away back here. What? Yeah, he did.
Oh, yeah. And Jerry was nice enough to put up Craig's number for him.
Huh?
Jerry was nice enough to put up Craig's number.
Oh, well, I don't know if that's the new number. He sent me his number.
Oh, okay.
Which I don't know if I got it. I have to, yeah. Use that number. If not, if you need it, email me and I'll send you his phone number. I think the phone number might stay the same, but his email is different.
Yeah. Okay. Barbara says that True Mexico. I watched Catch a Smuggler and they are going for facelifts and etc. Yeah, they do. They go down for a lot of dental work, facelifts, the big money stuff, And I said, when we were in Texas, there was a lot of people that was there in the park where we was at, and I said a couple of them they would make a regular run to Mexico, and I said it would scare me to death. I personally wouldn't do it, but just to save a buck. But they did.
By the way, this Marcia that's on here, is this Marcia, the one Jerry picks on all the time?
I believe so.
Well, I might have 2 or 3 Marcias, and one of them may have been on Patreon and opted out, and this Marcia might be the Marcia. I'm thinking this is Marcia, because it says she was on here for 44 months.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know what the other one was.
Yeah. Mr. Martin says insurance companies are suffering with employee issues like all other businesses. Newbies, high turnover. No one is looking for a career job now that most pensions have been ended. Yeah. It's one of those things that the world changed. They do things differently. And you got to get that, when you get to our age, you got to remember that it's not always going to be the same as it was 20 years ago. Insurance back then may have been different. Doctors back then might have been different. You remember you had a family doctor, and now you have, what do they call them? Your
priority.
Yeah, your priority doctors.
No.
But if you've got
primary care.
Yeah, if you've got something wrong, they send you to a heart doctor, or they send you to, this doctor or that doctor. He doesn't take care of it. He's your primary, so you go to him.
I can remember our family doctor did it all.
Yeah.
All.
Yeah. Okay.
Now everybody's a specialist.
Yeah. Pennies made dollars and dollars make fortunes. Is that what my father-in-law used to say? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know you heard if you watch the pennies, the dimes take care of themselves or something like that.
Yeah. Well, it just boils down to it's just different. My mom and dad and my grandpa, they all remember the Depression days. I don't. And the depression we have nowadays, if you want to say we have depression, doesn't even compare with what they did back then.
Yeah.
So I just know that anybody that's a depression baby, they look at banks and saving money and spending money totally different. Yeah. My dad doesn't trust banks. My grandpa didn't trust banks at all. So when you think about financing homes and stuff like that, the way I would look at it is one way. The way my mom and dad would look at it would be a totally different way.
Yeah. Night Nurse says, afternoon from Westfield, Indiana. What's your opinion on Plantation at Leesburg? I've never been there.
Yeah,
honey.
we went there once. We drove back there. I'm trying to remember in my head. Remember they had a golf course that kind of meandered through the houses? That was Plantation.
Well, I don't remember it.
But there's a lot of different neighborhoods that's got the word plantation in it, because Southern Plantation, it's just a catch-all phrase.
Right.
And I don't know about the one in Leesburg. Have I ever been to that one, or was that another plantation we went to? That had the golf courses meandering through the houses.
I was thinking that was down towards Orlando.
That's probably a better question to ask Ira, because he probably sells houses down there. I really can't answer that truthfully.
Yeah,
'Cause I
Ira
don't
Miller?
remember if I've been through there or not.
I&M Realty. Yeah, because I don't recall much about it. Although, and it's pretty close to us actually.
Yeah.
I do remember seeing the signs. So it's not very far away.
And apparently the Villages is getting into Leesburg now, because I was reading in the news a while ago that a villager in a golf cart somewhere somehow got arrested by a Leesburg police officer. So apparently part of our newer area is in Leesburg city limits or something.
Yeah, I believe down the Dabney area. I think they're close to. I don't know if they're on.
You're going to find out if you pay attention to the news. I'm going to tell you, with 3 counties right now, Marion, Lake, and Sumter, watch and see what the different bonds are for the same offense. And I think I want to say Marion County, they don't play games. You get arrested there for not having a driver's license or drunk driving, you might get a $5,000 or $6,000 or $7,000 bond, the first offense. Sumter County, I've seen them as low as $150.
But yeah, we just don't know a whole lot about Plantation Night Nurse, so we can't help you a lot. But if I'll let you know if we find out anything. I said we
What
don't.
are we looking for?
Plantation.
Oh, I can't say. I don't know.
So I said we really don't know.
But I can just about tell you that
I've not heard bad things about it.
if it's a premier retirement community, and that's what the Villages is, that's why you can't do certain things, because they got to keep it up to be a premier retirement community. That it's going to be fine if you like the area. It's all about what do you got to pay other than buying the house. Is it an HOA? Is it governed by district rules? What kind of property taxes? What kind of amenity fees? That's really what you got to find out, is that. It ain't really the house, it's that.
And like I said, Plantation is on a lot smaller scale than what we have here. I do know that. It's not near
Me personally,
the
I
size.
think I'd be more comfortable in a smaller retirement community. This place has gotten too big for me. But at the same time, I don't want to live downtown Leesburg, where every time I leave my community, I'm in the middle of a traffic jam. and that's really what Leesburg is anymore.
Yeah. Brett has got to say that being a veteran, the VA has billed all of us for my health care. Yes, but being a veteran, you deserve it.
And they have a VA up in the older area up there.
Yes.
I don't know anything about it, but I know it's up there. One of the largest military retiree people here, outside of a military base, the largest in the state of Florida, is right here.
Yeah.
So you got a lot of military people here that can help you out.
Mr. Marlin, I'm not going to say that. Marcia says it's me, the one and only.
Okay. I'm going to double check and make sure you're still on there, because I remember doing away with a Marcia.
Well, thank you, Marcia. 44 months is what it said? 44 months is what it said?
Marcia, yeah, 44
Yeah.
months. It just popped up. I don't know if Marcia.
Terrific.
Yeah.
You've actually stayed with us that long.
Why?
Let's see.
Look at that. Look at that dog. Look at that dog. I like those dogs.
Oh, yeah. It's a Frenchie.
A Frenchie. I think Frenchies are cool.
Yeah. Yeah, because you don't have to walk them, and yeah.
They're probably a little smarter. They know to go outside. Buddy's got this dumb look on his face when you look at him. He just,
He's like you. It's a good thing he's cute. Brett says 3 weeks ago, Boston VA shut down an MRI too quickly and ruined 100 million MRI. Oh my God. I bet some head rolls for that. So
that sounds about right, Jerry. I think that is his number. 8992, I can't remember that. I think that is his up to date. I think, yeah, he's got that same phone number. Those of you that want to know.
William says, how many chiropractors does it take to change a light bulb? Just one, but it takes 42 visits. You're on a roll today, William. Yeah. Thank you, Jerry, for putting that up. He put up Ira's number and all. Mark Spann says, hello from Burleson, Texas, just south of Fort Worth. Longtime subscribers and Patreon member, 5 to 6 months. Mark and Terry Spann.
Who is it?
Mark and Terry Spann.
I don't know if I'm thinking names I've seen on Discord. So
Yeah.
if you're a Patreon member, you got the Discord invitation a long time ago. And whenever I send you a Discord link to be able to come on Discord, our private Discord channel, that Discord link don't last forever. It expires after so long. So
Yeah.
if you try to use it and it comes up and says it's expired, just email me and I'll send you another one.
Yeah, yeah. And I said, you'll enjoy Discord. It's not anything terrific, but the Patreon members, a lot of the Patreon members are on there, and you can just discuss whatever you want to discuss. Plus, it's a little bit more private than what YouTube is. Laura says, my parents were little kids during the Depression. They looked at money and finances differently than their children do. Yes, they did in that era. And I think of some of the things, now Skip would call it hoarding, but I remember my mom using the sacks that sugar come in because it was double-sided paper. She would use that to pack the boys' lunch in. And I said, because it wouldn't, your grease stains or what have you wouldn't come through the paper. She reused the wrapping off a loaf of bread. And I said that was her saran wrap,
So when they run 100 million MRIs, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
What do they do?
No, I mean, it was...
no, they run them. So
No, they didn't ruin 100 million of them. It was 100 million evidently to replace it.
So 3 weeks ago, Boston VA shut down an MRI too quickly and ruined 100 million MRIs. That's what it says.
I think what he means is it's a $100 million MRI, and it ruined it.
Oh, maybe that's what it meant.
Yeah.
I thought he meant 100. I was going to say, well, good, get 100 million people to go in and do the MRI over again? What are they going to do, bill them twice?
I think it was just one machine, but it was worth 100 million.
Okay.
But yeah, that's a bunch. And yeah, Mark, if you'd like like the introduction to Discord, why send Skip an email and let him know so he can send you the invitation. Because if you've been on here, if you've been a patron for that long, why, I said you just should try it out.
Like I say, people come and go. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it's open to my Patreon members only. So you don't have to worry about some kid harassing you or making nasty comments. and we add to it a little bit at a time. There's a lot of things that I can do on there that I'm not sure how to do, but I'm looking into it. One of them is that everybody that has a camera, whether it be on a phone or whether it be on your laptop computer, there's a way I can go on there and turn my camera on, and then you all can turn your cameras on, and we can actually have a 100 people face-to-face chat thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that. I'm just looking into it.
Cliff Claveman says, when I went for my colonoscopy, I told my doctor that I bet he meets a lot of asses with his job. He didn't think it was that funny. Probably
I
not.
remember getting a physical from my when I worked for Overnight. Because Overnight didn't make us go to a company doctor. We could go to our own doctor. And I went and get my physical, which is, you also get the digital exam. You guys know what I mean? And Sue always goes into the doctor's office with me because my ears, sometimes I don't understand exactly what they're saying. And if I don't, I usually just say yeah to anything. She's sitting there. He tells me to drop my pants and bend over the table, and I went to Sue, and Sue turns all the way around, stares out the window. She don't even want to see it. And I thought,
because I knew how you would feel about it. Yeah.
So the next time I go in there to have this same digital thing done, I think this was shortly after I had my attack and I had to go to the hospital. He tells Sue, he said, you want to step out? He said, it's our alone time.
Oh, and whereas Buddy's in the house, he's taking his nap. He's pretty funny. When it's time to go to sleep, he just conks out.
Now his favorite place is crawling underneath our bed.
Yeah, he goes somewhere dark, which probably all dogs do that. But he goes, I find him in the back of the closet or under the bed or under a chair. This morning he was in the shower for some reason, but yeah, he just goes to sleep wherever. Oh, and Wrestler says the VA's been really taking great medical care of him, and he's got no complaints. Well, there was at one time they really had a hubbub about the VA was not treating people right. Certain ones, certain states, and they kind of, I think they threw some money at it and kind of got a lot of it straightened out. I know I've never heard anything bad about the VA here. The one up north where we were, I heard a lot of bad stuff about it, but that was a long time
I think the one
ago.
I heard the worst about, I think if I got it right, it was the one in Cleveland, Ohio. Ain't that the one that they actually shut down for a while?
No, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know that much about it, but I know that some VAs has got a good reputation, others don't. The one here that I've been told is decent. That's really all I know. I've never been there.
Yeah.
If Phil B was on here, he could probably tell you, because I think he goes there.
Yeah, and like I said, I've never heard a bad thing about it here. I really haven't. Oh, Buddy, we want Buddy.
I'm going to see if he's hanging around the door.
Oh, Barbara, thank you.
I haven't heard him.
Yeah, that's what I said. After here, you probably went back to sleep, but I'm not sure why I'm the best, but thank you. Oh, I heard him. He must have been just inside the door. Yeah, video chat. I used to spend a lot of time on Discord, but not so much anymore. I'd never heard of it until he started this. I really hadn't, because I'm not technical. I don't much about that. They want to know who takes more naps, you or Buddy.
Buddy's funny. He naps all day, and then he wants to play all night.
Yeah, he was up at 2 this morning. Yeah, never go to a nearsighted proctologist. That's right.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
Barbara says, I worry for my kids and grandkids. It's so expensive, and you have to do your own research. Yeah, it's like I said, things are a lot different. And I said, you can't expect it to be the same as it was in 1950s, They've changed things a lot, and you just got to keep up, because it's kind of up to you to take care of your own health care.
See how he's changed collars since he got his haircut?
Yeah, that's what
He's
he's
like
getting blonde.
kind of blondish gray.
Yeah. He got bedhead.
If you go back, especially when we brought him home from Kentucky, he almost had like a black face.
Yeah. Still sleepy?
He probably just got up.
Yeah. David Williams says, great show. Thanks for all the great work. PNW Seattle. Well, thank you, David.
Buddy boy.
I said, we're just sitting here jabbering. Yeah, and Barbara says, yeah, you're so true, Skip. Her dad was a depression kid. They had nothing. Yeah, if you think about some of the things that they went through, and we can't even imagine that. I mean, even when we were pinching pennies, it was nothing like what they had to go through. Yeah. Barbara says there's a plantation in Myrtle Beach. Yeah, there's a lot of them. I said that's a kind of a buzzword, but I know what she's talking about. The plantation in Leesburg. It's a big retirement community, and not a big retirement community considered
But
how big
it's
we
a
are.
retirement community.
But it's a nice place. I used to get postcards from them when we were looking for places. I would get postcards from them all the time.
There's a lot of considerations when you talk about a retirement community, and these are just facts that I've kind of put together in my own head by just kind of watching and hearing. When it says 55 plus, I'm not sure that's actually technically a retirement community. They're just saying that 80% of the people in there, one person in that house, and I think these rules can change from one place to another, but they got to get them approved before they get the building permit. This is what the rules are going to be, and then once that's set in stone, that's the way it is. That here, 55 plus, roughly 80% of the people here, one person living here full time, all of them are key words, has to be at least 55 years old. And I asked about that 20%, and they said, well, that was set in there because in case some of these older guys is married to some young chick, he dies, she's 40 years old, she falls into that 20% that can actually stay here full time. And that's the way it was set up. That rule's not being enforced at all, but I'm finding out that other 55 plus communities, they call them, well, they don't call them 55 plus, they call them age restricted. An age restricted community means that if you're not a certain age, you can't live there. Other, well, I won't say retirement communities has a rental policy in their neighborhood. I think On Top of the World's one of them. If you rent something out up there, it has to be minimum 6 months. You can't rent them out short term.
Yes, he's getting bigger all the time. Last time I weighed him, he was 7 pounds. You remember when we brought him home, he was 2.5 pounds. It's unbelievable. But, yeah, he's, she says, Buddy wants a cookie.
I ain't got any, I eat
He
them.
hadn't got any left. He ate them all. Elaine says Chewy sells colors you can have engraved with the name and phone number, no clanking ID tags.
Before it gets too late, you got a box down there to open up too that you got.
Oh, I didn't know you brought it out here. I thought I forgot it. Oh, yeah. Robin, I don't know if you're on here, honey, but I'm going to open your box. You told me last week to check the mail, and I did. And I'm going to open the box. Irving Clark sent us a $4.99.
Thanks, Irving.
Thanks, Irving. And Barbara says she agrees about veterans. Give them anything. That's the way I feel about it.
What's that?
Veterans. Give them anything.
Oh yeah, I've always said that if we could afford to give some illegal from China all this free stuff, what's wrong with our veterans here?
Yeah. Now this box is from T.R. Maines from Oklahoma. It's what is it?
Robin.
Miami, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We met.
She goes by T.R. on here.
Yeah, we met her and her husband here. I don't even know. 2 months ago, 3 months ago.
And she told me last week she was sending me something. So let's see what it is. It's light. Oh. Well, it's really pretty card on there. So I hope you like the sign I made for you, Robin. It says Hello Spring. Little ink pen on the card. Put that on. See what the sign is. Oh my goodness. I like it already, Robin. Oh. What do you mean?
He's yawning.
Ah.
Porch setting. Wonder if somehow we could prop that in the window right there so it shows up on the
Well,
show.
I'll figure out a way. Right there. Isn't that cute? This porch setting with Skip
I'm
and
looking to
Sue.
see like maybe we like get it where we could like put it like get one of them sticky hangy things right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Robin. That is very sweet. She made this. Very sweet. Yeah, we'll find a place to hang it. Plus, I was looking for a yard sign that had our address that had porch setting on it, and I was going to call the guy about it. He's
buddy,
at the
I'll put you back in
he's
the
always
house.
at the square on market night, and I miss market night.
No, quit that.
But yeah, this is really cute. Thank you. You know, we've got some really, really nice things. And I'm thinking, do you remember the lady that sent me the quilt?
I don't remember her name.
Wasn't she from Oklahoma?
I don't remember that either.
Oh, I was thinking maybe she was.
Are you my wife?
Huh?
Huh?
You're so goofy. Yeah, we've gotten some, over the years, we've gotten some really, really nice things. And one lady even made us a quilt with our name on it. And y'all are
You know, I
just
think I'm just about figuring out all this running around here today.
What?
Well,
It's Wednesday.
the snowbirds don't go home in April like they used to. It's usually around May, and we're at the end of April, so
Oh, yeah?
I'm thinking people are getting things together, get ready to take off and go home.
That could be, yeah. Yeah, that could be. Let's see. Let me get back to what we're doing here.
Tiger sent $10 super chat, says cookie money for Buddy.
Oh, thank you. And Jerry says that's a great sign. Yes, it is, Jerry. It's really cute.
Buddy, stop it. I'll put you back in the house.
Uh-oh. George says her internet is throttling her.
Her internet is?
That's what she said.
Right here while I'm watching, I don't see anything wrong.
Okay. Okay.
Who
let's
knows?
see.
This Wi-Fi thing has become a thing. Maybe China's attacking us. Buddy, stop it.
Oh, and it says let's celebrate their first super on a live stream. I think that was the other one. Yes, thanks, Irving. Parents die and home is in children's name takes care of that 20%. Been living in my 55 plus community full time since I was in my 20s. Yeah, you know, they can tell you that's what it's for, but it's kind of one of those gray areas,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, I'm just saying that if you look at a retirement community, those that don't come to Florida, there's different ways that they phrase things, and that's what you need to look for. If you're looking for an age-restricted community, so that somebody 25 years old can't buy that house next door to you, that's what you want to look for, age-restricted. Then you have gated communities, and here they call it a community with gates. So you have to really do your due diligence and know what you're looking for, what you want.
Mm-hmm.
And because Deb, when she left here and she moved into kind of like an assisted living place, but it's not an assisted living place. But anyway, where she's at, it's gated, right? You were there. Yeah,
yes.
It's gated. And it's over around Mount Dora, I think.
Yeah, it's at Mount Dora, yeah.
Hey!
Come here, boo-boo. Come here. Yeah. And Marcia had a question. What if she remarries and new hubby is not yet 55? That's one of those things that's kind of a gray area.
Well, as right now, the way Villages enforces that things, as long as as long as you own the house, you can move in anybody you want to, as long as they're 19 years old or older. That's the way they're doing things.
Yeah. Joseph Smith said, my grandparents lived through the Depression, and looking back, it's amazing how content they were with what we would consider an extremely conservative lifestyle.
I
That
just
was the
remember
great generation,
stories
yes.
that my dad told us when he was a kid and during the Depression, that part of their job after they got home from school was they got their buckets, him and his brothers and sisters, and they walked down the railroad where the coal miner trains would the coal trains that hauled the coal down the track. A certain amount of coal would fall off of them cars. Mm-hmm. So they would walk down the track with their buckets and pick up the coal. When their bucket was full, then they went home and they dumped it somewhere, and that's what they cooked. They cooked their food in a stove in the kitchen with coal. And Dad said
That's how they kept the house warm.
they did, but during the night they let it kind of go bad. And then I think he said his grandma, got up early in the morning and she would stoke the fire in the potbelly stove, I guess. I mean, our family was not rich at all. My grandfather, he worked for everything he had. And I think that kind of went over to my dad because he witnessed that. Even though he would buy things that my grandpa probably never even would think about doing. Dad bought a couple of new motorhomes. I don't think my grandpa would ever think about that. The idea of buying a house, not grandpa, he bought land and built his own house.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way he was. And then, of course, me, here I am now. I'm like the spoiled kid, really. Go, what, mow grass? I ain't mowing that grass. It's too hot out there. See, I mean, that's how weak one generation to another, it just gets weaker and weaker and weaker to the point where I watch the news on TV and I see some of these kids protesting some of the stupidest stuff. But hey, here's how I see about this protesting. I remember the 60s. You know, peace and love and all that. I remember the 70s when the mothers of America was protesting the Vietnam War, demanded an end to it because all these children were dying over there for no good reason. So this protesting thing is nothing new,
No.
as long as it don't get violent.
Oh, and oh goodness, my phone just jumped again. Um, Skip Richards says people aren't returning to the Cape till June now. Weather sucks up here. This has been a weird year everywhere, honey. It really has.
But he's right. I mean, used to snowbirds was it was a January through the end of March, April the 1st, they headed home for whatever reasons. I've always said they head home to do their taxes. Now it seems like here in the villages, every year it seems like they stay a little bit longer, a little bit longer. And I can understand that, but that also weighs in on our golf courses getting torn up because they stay longer. And with all that, they don't go home now till around May. And my theory about that is they go home around May because up north, that's about the time you really need to start mowing your grass.
When they used to, they'd go home because they had to do their taxes.
That's what I said. They
Yeah.
go home by April to do taxes. Now they go home in May because when we had our farm, that's usually about when I was getting ready to go out and do our first cutting of hay.
Yeah.
Was in May.
But, oh yes, William, Leesburg Bike Fest is this weekend. Yeah, so if you're a big bike enthusiast, you know, that's the place to go. If you're not a big bike enthusiast, I would steer clear because it's quite the do.
Yeah, they have fun over there.
Yeah.
You know, it's noisy. A lot of Harley guys. Like it or not, there's a lot of drinking that goes on over there.
Okay.
So yeah, they do a lot of partying over there. So if you don't like all the noise and whatever, I just stay clear.
Yeah. Tiger 2 says, I'm also Harley. John, been watching for a long time. We remember you, Harley, John.
I remember when I was a gate guard, I was covering for somebody up here by the village's hospital at the Morse Gate on the north section. And I don't know, it was about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. These two guys pulled up to the gate on their Harleys, and I opened the door to see if I could help them. And they were lost. They were trying to figure out how to get back to their hotel or something like that. And they were lost in the villages, which if you're not from here, it's easy to get lost in here. And he pulls up to the gate, and the guy that's closest to me, he says, hey, he says, can you tell us how to get to so-and-so? Well, the guy next to him stopped, forgot to put his foot down. He just fell over. I cracked up. I'm laughing my ass off. I told him, hey, look, Goose. I said, it's over here. You got to follow this road, blah, blah, blah. I said, and do yourself a favor. Don't go out on the main road with this guy. I said, you're going to go to jail.
Oh, and Tammy wanted to know how much does Buddy weigh now. He weighs, last time I weighed him, he was 7 pounds. But he eats good, so. Only he's weird about eating. He doesn't eat in the morning. I've never seen a dog that was like that. Usually they get up, that's the first thing they go to is their bowl. But he doesn't eat in the morning. He doesn't eat until evening. It's there all day, but he doesn't eat it until evening. And he's kind of particular about what he eats, which is not surprising. Let's see. Well, thank you, Linda. Yeah, we think he's a cutie too. And like I said, it's been a trial getting him civilized. He's going to go to charm school next week because there's a few things that I can't get the kinks out. So I'm gonna have somebody help me because I don't. I'm afraid, if he doesn't come to me when I call him, or he'll come so far and then stop because he thinks I'm playing. Because that's the way Skip plays with him, and so I want to be able to get him to come to me when I call. I don't want to take him to the dog park until he does that. And but like I said, he's been a joy. He really has. But he's still teething. He's lost 2 of his baby teeth on the bottom.
He's chewing on your arm now.
Yeah, but he's still got the 2 in the top that are very, very sharp. Overjoy says, we were activists before internet. Now we are slacktivists. We wonder why politicians are so much worse now. No journalists exposing them, and no one gets off their couch to protest. That's about right.
I kind of take the opposite approach on that. I sometimes think that we hear too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it just before during the Walter Cronkite days, basically what the news you got was the most important of whatever happened, probably just in our country. Now with internet, You can watch a Japanese. I do it. You can go watch a Japanese news channel. You can go watch an Australia. I watch the 60 Minutes of Australia. I think 60 Minutes of Australia is better than the American version of 60 Minutes, because 60 Minutes in Australia does 60 Minutes a lot on things happening in America, and you can see their side of it. I watch that a lot. So sometimes I think we hear too much.
Yeah.
That maybe we shouldn't hear so much. It's
Well,
just like the news. My opinion about the news is they take a side, and I'm not sure news should be doing that. They never did before.
I'm going to shut
When
my mouth.
you turned on Channel 8 News, Mike Ahern was on there, and what was the woman's name? Mike Ahern and that woman that was with him all the time.
Debbie.
This is Indianapolis stuff.
Yeah.
Debbie,
Yeah.
whatever her
Pick
name
the last
was.
name.
They just read the news to you. You know, whoever wrote the news out for them, they just read the news to you. You know, today in Vietnam, 100,000 people died today. Next story would be about some big train crash in California. I mean, that's what the news was. Today, it just seems like everything is, we're going to talk about everything here. Then the other channel, they'll talk about everything here. I just don't watch any of it anymore.
Mr. Martin says, looks like there's still a lot of high season rentals available. Well, this is the time of year when they start putting them up for rent for next year,
Betty.
for high season. And so
Stop
that's why it looks like that. So they say, because some people, rent from year to year, but other people, they'll look for a different place in a different area, try out a different area each time. But yeah, since the winter people are leaving, that's when they start having them open for rentals for next season.
Yeah, and a lot of the people that's leaving now, they've already put their deposit down on the place they're going to rent next year. I mean, before they leave. That happens all the time. So some of the homes that you might see for rent, I don't know where you're watching that at, the Villagers Homes for Rent website. The owners of that website may not have posted yet that house is not available. It takes them a while. Yeah, so I'm saying if you're interested in renting a home here instead of doing a lifestyle for next winter, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but I'm just saying the earlier you put your deposit on one, the better off you are.
Oh, Catherine, Buddy he'll be 5 months next week. So he's just at the end of that 4-month stage. And that's why I say he's lost a couple of the baby teeth. And I wish he'd lose all of them, truthfully. He uses me as the gnawbone. But yeah, he's going to be 5 months. And like I said, it's been a long 5 months, ain't it, baby? Laura says, I advise my 2 oldest nieces who have been working 6+ years now in healthcare to enroll in their employer's retirement plan now. Don't wait until you are 40, 45, or 50. Yeah, that's right. They said, do it while you can. And if they offer
Earlier
you
the
a
better.
company match for anything, take it. That's free money. So you don't want to turn that down. And I know a lot of people say, well, I can use that money. Well, yeah, you can. But when you get a little bit older, you'll understand.
You think your kids will listen to you? Mine didn't.
Yeah.
You know, you're part of that older generation now. So, oh, you don't understand, Mom. Things has changed.
Yeah.
Buddy.
Oh, yes. And
You're
I'm
getting on
going
my
to,
nerves.
we got,
Come here.
go to Daddy.
I'm not hurting him.
Yeah, we're down to the last 15, so I got some things here that I wanted to tell y'all.
Look there. There goes the UPS guy.
Yeah, and William says, word is Costco is coming to the Villages out on 466 by Hobby Lobby. Yes, William, that was one of my things I had on here today.
Debbie Knox.
Huh?
Debbie Knox.
Oh, yeah.
That was her.
Debbie Knox.
So somebody else here must watch the Channel 8 News back in the day.
Yeah. Gold Wingnut had actually told that on his channel a couple days ago that the Costco was coming here. And it's been people have been wanting one for a long time.
I don't understand why.
It's been, well, you're not a shopper.
It's just another big box store is all it is.
Well, I know, but like I said, you're not a shopper.
Selling a
But
bunch
yeah,
of
we
Chinese
finally
crap.
had it in, like I said, Gold Wingnut had it on his channel a couple days ago, and then finally in the front page of the paper, they actually acknowledged it. Costco's still not saying anything, but they could have, it's made the paper way. It's got enough wherewithal behind it that it's probably coming. And they're saying it's going to be on 466 next to Hobby Lobby. And there's a big empty field there, so that makes sense. At first, it was supposed to be out by Russell Stover's Chocolate. And I thought, well, that's an odd place to put it, out there by itself. But now they're saying next to Hobby Lobby, which is a perfect place for it, I think. And a lot of people are looking forward to it. Now I do Sam's Club and BJ's, but I've never been close to a Costco. So I'm really, really looking forward to it because I want to see, what it's about. I went to one with my daughter-in-law, ex-daughter-in-law, and it didn't look much different than the rest of them. But I understand they have some good product. So also, on May 2nd, after Sharon, is The Price is Right. And I just think that would be so much fun. I've never seen one, in a studio like that instead of being on TV. But I think it'd be a lot of fun. In April 27th in Brownwood, from 5 to 9, is the Car Club Showcase. And they'll have Classic Thunderbirds, Tesla Club, the Village Vets, Chrysler Convertible Club, Classic Auto Club, Tin Lizzie Club of Florida, Heart of Florida, and Model A Restorers Club. So all those clubs will have something on the square on the 27th.
Brett says, my folks lived in the Villages for 20 years. Mall. That cracks me up. Mall. I'm thinking Ma and Pa Kettle.
Oh, yeah.
Am I too old for you guys for that? Ma and Pa Kettle.
I love Ma and Pa Kettle.
Ma keeps losing at Bunko. I asked her to knit me a comforter, and she said, yeah, right. I guess that means you ain't getting it.
Some kind of a bird? They're looking at Buddy.
Some crow.
And let's see. Oh, this weekend, 427 is going to be World Tai Chi Day at Lake Sumter from 9 to 11. And they'll have demonstrations from the instructors from the Tai Chi clubs here in the Villages, which I think would be very interesting. I mean, I went to a class or two, but I mean, to watch demonstrations from the heads of these classes, I think it'd be really cool. But that's the 27th, which I believe that's Sunday, from 9 to 11 at Lake Sumter. We've got a bird that doesn't like us very much, I think. Oh, yeah. Okay. Wrestler says, I've been saving in company 401k, Roth, etc. since my 20s. So glad now that I did. My boys both see how I retired early, so they said they will do the same. Fingers crossed. Yeah, and I said we were young and stupid and didn't.
You know, I hope that they could listen, that's all.
Yeah, we spent a lot of years catching up because we didn't.
Well, because I lost that truck, it cut me. I lost so much money. I lost $1 million right there.
Yeah, but yeah, and Brett, I'm with you. I'm with your ma. Yeah, right. You got too much to do. And we
should get a hold of that lady that made you that quilt. Maybe she'll make you one. I don't even know who it was.
Well, I said, Mom's probably got too many things to do. She's here in the Villages, so.
Oh, well, maybe. I don't know.
And I don't know, Marcia, if that's a squirrel. I think it's a bird. It's in...
That's a crow.
It's a
crow? I know what it is.
Oh, okay. Well, like I said, you just keep a good eye on Buddy, because I don't like those
You ain't
birds.
gonna see no squirrels around here.
Yeah.
Ain't no nuts. Other than the ones that's sitting out here.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Wow. Well, I said there's plenty to do this weekend, and I might go take a look at the car club, the showcase, because they're gonna have all those different kinds. That sounds like it'd be fun. I'm not going near Leesburg because I'm not interested in the bike fest. I'm an old gold winger. I'm not into the Harleys. And I said they tend to have some problems at those places, so let's see.
I think the last big bike thing we went to was one in Daytona.
Yeah.
Or was it the one in Illinois? We went over there.
No, it was Daytona.
In Daytona.
Yeah.
And that one's big. And they call it Daytona Bike Week. I think it's more like Daytona Bike Month.
Kind of like the Indy 500. It's a whole month. Yeah.
Story about
But-
that is real quick. We had to get a hotel room like 20 miles outside of town because all of them were full. We didn't have a motorcycle down here. We just happened to be down here and found out about it. And I said, let's go over to it.
My sister was coming down. Too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we went over there, and then there was a bunch of ruckus downstairs. We was on the second floor, had a balcony, and the guys downstairs were staggering outside, falling on the ground, laughing and carrying on. Come to find out, they got the mattress on fire in their room, and they were all drunk. That's the kind of activities you have at these bike fests.
Nice is some of the stuff they do. Yeah. And I said, just not compatible with us at this age, I don't think so. But they tend to be a lot of fun, some of them. And
We've always had a good time.
yeah. But
The
we
Honda.
weren't-
We went to a Honda Hoot in downtown Knoxville.
Yeah.
1 year or 2 years? I know at least 1 year.
Yeah. Couple
And
years.
we was there for, I don't know, 3 or 4 days during the Honda Hoot. Went on different bike rides and everything. I had a great time.
Oh, we did the
The,
rapids.
Rapids.
Yeah, in Ocoee, the Whitewater.
Oh, that's right. We went Whitewater Rapids. That's when I belted her in the eye. I gave her a black eye
Yeah, he hit me with the paddle. He hit me in the eye.
with the oar.
Yeah, but
We're in the rapids in this raft. She started to fall out. I grabbed a hold of her and pulled her in. She went down to the floor and she stayed down there. She wouldn't get back up. So as we're going up on the raft, she comes up and I went kabam! I smacked her right in the eye.
yeah, I used to be very little. When I was very little, I said that I could stay in the boat when they were rafted. You know, it was like this, and I would go fly down the boat. He would grab me. But it was a lot of fun. Yeah, I miss those days. I miss the bike. I did.
Tail of the Dragon when we were down there.
Yeah.
Those of you who don't know what Tail of the Dragon is, it's a big motorcycle thing. It's a road. I forget the name of the road or the highway. You can Google it. It's like 314 curves and 11 miles or something like that. It's a
Yeah.
constant. It's
Yeah.
constantly, and we done that. We weren't trying to do no speed records. We just wanted to do it, and we did it going up. Went to a restaurant, got a little bite to eat, and then we did it again coming back down.
Yeah, and like I said, we haven't got anything against Harleys. We just didn't ride one. And I said we were more comfortable on the Gold Wing, and so the difference in them, one was the noise, the other was the vibration. Yeah, on those bikes it was like this all the time, and it about drove you nuts.
I think the newer ones are better, but still, we would ride a motorcycle 500 miles a day, and a Harley. I've talked to a lot of people that's told me that there's no way that they could ride 500 miles a day every day because the vibration, it goes up your back, right through your tailbone, right up your back into your neck, and at the end of the day, you're just sore.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to do that.
But we had a lot of fun, and like I say, I remember those days fondly. And like I say, I like the motorcycle a lot better than I like the Vet, which people think I'm crazy, but
I
still.
like both.
I know. But it's always one of those things. Okay, who we got on here? And we still got.
I know about time to say goodbye. It's 2 o'clock.
It's 1:57.
That's close enough. You'll say goodbye for 3 minutes.
Oh, William says Highway 64. I used to own a restaurant in Ducktown, just by the Ocoee River. Yes, I remember Ducktown. Joseph Smith, the 318 curves and 11 miles, and it's full of crazy people, especially on the weekends.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the knee draggers. Oh my gosh, we would have to wait on the ambulance to go pick up a knee dragger every
You hear
time.
what she said? She calls them knee draggers.
Well, that's what I call them. They were.
the crotch rockets.
Yeah, but they would have to go pick up somebody along the trail. The ambulance would. We have to stay at the restaurant, wait for them to get back with the ambulance. It was. I couldn't believe it.
Remember the tree on top of the hill? All the knee draggers
Yeah.
wrecked their bikes. They take parts of the bike and hung it on this tree up there on top.
Yes, yes.
Oh God. Yeah, we had a good time. I have to admit. Sometimes it got a little hard riding. You'd be heading somewhere, and you had a hotel reservation, so you got a little bit of a time thing going here, and you make that right curve, especially in the mountains. Make that right curve, we start going down a hill, and it's raining like crazy. I mean, so it wasn't all glamorous, but to us, it was just part of the adventure, and we just did it.
And we, you know, they always have a photographer about halfway down taking pictures, and I've got some of those pictures somewhere, where they take your picture as you're going around the curves. You know, you looking for Buddy?
Yeah. Buddy, where's he at?
Well, I don't know.
Buddy! I better go find
Well,
him.
we're gonna have to go find Buddy because he's wandered off. So
Yeah, say goodbye.
we see y'all on the other
There he is.
side.
Come here, come here. Come on, get over here. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
Aw,
Buddy! He just plays dumb.
yeah. Bye.